Hello, hi. Once again, this is yours truly, Clarice T, for my podcast. How's your day? In the process of discovery and stipulation as pretrial procedural requirements, any adverse party should know this about the real me, the real Clarissa M. Talaga Garcia. And with this, I would like to welcome you to the second episode of this series, the second season of my podcast. It will be interesting to contemplate what a joint stipulation will look like because, as the person or the party of interest, I should be known as.
I can't find my phone.
And as usual, as I said in my previous episode, please, this is part of the real life, the day by day life that I have. Yes, you wait for mommy to finish. Okay?
Okay.
So it will be interesting to contemplate what a joint stipulation will look like because, as the person or the party of interest, I should be known as the same person who has brought this matter to BIR RDO 60, which is here in Quezon Province, to BDO, to Security Bank, and due to the various communication that we have and given the profession that I have already told them and given the proof of my profession, I have already advised them that I would be bringing this matter to the public through my platforms. Various platforms. Yes, this is me. So the question has been raised. Paano magbabayad ng buwis at ano ang pamuwisan ng tao or mga tao na nangangailangang magpa-police blatter para i-report ang anti-human trafficking activities at gawin ito sa pinakamalapit na himpilan ng police or in my case, sa Lucena PNP. Yes. How does someone who have made a police blatter report, who had lodged a complaint, police blatter here, against human trafficking activities to avoid being victimized by human trafficking activities, how does one pay taxes, diba? And what should the records, the database of someone like that, the various local offices and system generation, diba? So because I cannot make a report without having supporting papers or a proof of the complaints, diba? So it will be interesting what the joint stipulation will look like. And I have to take a pause there because I want to read from my notes. I have searched this in my Google. What is the joint stipulation of facts and issues in the Philippines? The joint stipulation of facts and issues is an effective way to abbreviate the proceedings, simplify the issues, and expedite the disposition of the case. As a consequence, it could result to reduction in the number of documents or witnesses to be presented before this honorable court. And so this is the process where the admissibility of evidence and the witnesses will be ruled on. Diba? So it's really an integral part to the trial itself. And where do I base it? Again, let me read from GR numbers 143689-91, November 12, 2002. It's Supreme Court record. I have read the decision penned by Justice Panganiban in the episode 1. If you can just go back to it, my previous episode. I want to read from the statement of the case. Before us is a petition for certiorari under Rule 65 of the Rules of Court, praying for the setting aside of the April 18th, 2000, number 1, and the May 26th, 2000 orders of the Sandigan Bayan, and number 3, in criminal case numbers 252 80-82. The first order denied petitioners' motion to withdraw the joint stipulation of facts and documents, while the second denied reconsideration. Okay, the facts. On May 6, 1999, 3 informations were filed before the SBN, Sandigan Bayan, charging petitioners Ernesto T. Matuday and Sixto M. Bayas with violation of Section 3 of Republic Act Number 3019 as amended, and 2 counts of malversation through falsification penalized under Article 217 in relation to Article 171 of the revised Penal Code. They were charged in their capacities as municipal mayor and municipal treasurer, respectively, of the municipality of Cabayan, province of Benguet. During the arraignment on September 21, 1999, petitioners pled not guilty. The pretrial conference scheduled on October 15, 1999 was canceled and reset to November 5, 1999 because the counsel for the accused, Attorney Jose M. Molintas, was not prepared. On November 5, 1999, the pretrial was again canceled because of the absence of Attorney Molintas, who was allegedly suffering from the flu. Nonetheless, the Sandigan Bayan urged the accused to discuss with their counsel the stipulation of facts drafted by Ombudsman Prosecutor 2 Evelyn T. Lucero. They were asked to do so that at the resumption of the pre-trial on December 10, 1999, they could expeditiously pass upon all other matters that still remained to be resolved. On December 10, 1999, the parties submitted a joint stipulation of facts and documents, which had been duly signed by the 2 accused here in petitioners, Attorney Molintas and Prosecutor Lucero. It is reproduced here under joint stipulation of facts and documents. So I won't go into that, but in summary, from what I can understand from what I just read, the joint stipulation of facts had been held without the presence of the counsel of the accused. And so it is not irregular for the accused to be present without the help of the counsel, where statements had been given for the record, and the procedure that was happening where the statements were entered into was in making the joint stipulation of facts and documents. And it's very interesting. I am glad that they had brought this to the Supreme Court. Come now, the accused, counsel for the accused, and the prosecution by and through the undersigned. Okay, I will leave it at that, and I will proceed with the next. Well, anyway, the defense shall present at least 4 witnesses, while the prosecution opts not to present any witness, considering that defense admitted all the documentary evidence of the prosecution. Quezon City, December 10th, 1999. So the 4 personalities have given their signature: Attorney Jose M. Molintas, counsel for accused; Sixto Bayas, the accused; Attorney Evelyn Taguba Lucero, Ombudsman Prosecutor 2, and Ernesto Matuday, the accused. So all 4 of them had given their signature. On January 14th, 2000, the pretrial conference was again scuttled due to the absence of Attorney Molintas. The hearing was rescheduled for February 14th, 2000. However, on February 7th, 2000, he moved to withdraw as counsel for the accused. His motion was granted by the anti-graft court in an order dated February 14th, 2000. In the same order, the pre-trial was rescheduled for March 31st, 2000 to give the accused ample time to employ a new counsel. On April 26, 2000, the accused, represented by their new counsel, Attorney Cecilia M. Cinco, moved to withdraw the joint stipulation of facts and documents. Specifically, they sought to withdraw First, Stipulation 1, which states that both the accused admit the admit the disbursement of the amount of 510,000 and 55,000. And second, Exhibits 1 to 8A, they invoked their constitutional right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty. So I would stop it, and I will go back to my own narrative. So as I said, the various recognition of the system for myself will be, I cannot discount the possibility that it will be brought into the fore. But who am I? Who am I really? Diba? So this is a very important and relevant question because it will open the forum to various stakeholders at the state. Who pays for the taxes of various Clarissa Talaga Garcia persons or personalities? Exemption sa taxes means so many things. While my daughters were growing up, I had contemplated on the question whether in filing for an income tax I could include them as as my responsibility or as tax deduction, diba? So if I had that those kind of contemplations during the first years of my venturing into business, then therefore I had filed income tax. I had been a taxpayer. So the old record can be searched. Was there ever a time wherein instead of being a taxpayer, I have been a tax deduction? Like I come as a responsibility of someone even though I am still within the productive age. The complicated part is that the name will respond to a ping or search qualifier in the revenue system because I used to be a productive taxpayer, being a professional business owner. The old record will have to be updated and validated. And with what? Mabuti kung from the start walang naging TAN or tax account number, the obsolete identification number of the Bureau of Internal Revenue. And nung nagpalit ng system at naging TIN, tax identification number, kung from the start I did not have TIN, actually I have two, na nai-require ang age and occupation and other personal history, there will be nothing for me to continue or to update. Sino ang magtutuloy ng mga records na yan to be validated to 2023 or to be deleted sa system reserved for living persons? Either updated or to be deleted for 2023. So that is a work cut out for me. It will be a dubious situation if this will be formalized, how one's name and ID are all in the cracks in the system for a time being. It would be too systematic to be coincidence or randomly happening to just one person, wherein each case is isolated from each other. And where do I base this serious claim? It's a serious predicament to have found oneself not in the system, or if it's in the system, so fragmented. Let me elaborate. My filing cabinet is full of documentary proof of how I tackled the situation I found myself in when all the credentials and documents that I have could not be found in the local system. The implication or consequence of this is that I was not in the system as a real person and automatically wala din yung tao na my attributes, identification that I know myself to be based on my recollection and based on the pieces of papers I had presented. My self-evidenced profile was invalid because the supporting papers were all worthless during that time. So, may proseso bang dinaanan before ko naiwasto at before ako na-acknowledge na system in my real personal ID along with my documents? Meron. So, meron akong karapatan and justification na mag-report in the form of incident reports dahil gumastos ako at naabala sa oras sa unang beses at kalaunan nauulit ang masamang epekto sa akin sa tuwing mangyayari ito ng paulit-ulit. At wala din namang nag-ayos kundi ako being the person of interest at wala din ibang gumastos kundi ako being the main stakeholder of the name. So, what did I just say? So do I have the legal personality to make an incident report and submit this to the proper body? I believe so because I was the one who had undertaken the correction the first time it happened, and then when it happened regularly, I was regularly being put to task to correct them and to the losses to absorb the losses due to wrong identification or no records found. At this point in time, the consolidation in support of a living and true person of the undersigned has formally reached the United States. So what does the IRS has? Jewel, mommy is doing something. At this point in time, the consolidation in support of a living and true person of the undersigned has formally reached the United States. So what does the IRS has in terms of the personal information of yours truly? There cannot be two Clarisas who are both the daughter of Claro and Claring talaga of Lucena City that will explain the surname, family name, Mendiola talaga. I was a single fetus and single infant from my mother's womb. All my official records will confirm this. As a non-publisher, non-writer, non-singer person, non-business person, non-taxpayer, I can be in a rehab or in a jail and be just anyone or anybody who will not have an iota of credibility and believability, which is an important factor in a self-defense against any allegations and accusations. Some of it happened already and I was avoiding a repetition, and some of it is created by learning from the telltale signs from what's been happening. I didn't wait out for my situation to worsen. My resume and my personal profile might as well have been a blank template filled up with spurious data and entered into the system, surfacing from the cracks where I found myself in. This is a future tense. Of course, I had been responsible enough to get in touch with the authority to call, to prevent the worst scenario. So who will be the natural person who will file the necessary form either for payment or exemption here in the Philippines and in the US? The BIR, IRS concerns for 2023 and onwards. Naturally, my bank records are part of my personal company profile. Are part of my personal profile as well as my company profile, as well as my viability as a party into a business contract. So it begins with the cash in bank. Let the records show that I, daughter of the late and one-time spouses Claro and Learning talaga, the one with whom, the employee and officer of various companies and institutions had spoken with regarding this matter. Since we're all under the scrutiny of AMLAC being the anti-money laundering, both the banks and financial consumers have the responsibility to conform with mandates. And in other countries, like like in the US, the IRS is big on their nationals with domestic or foreign undeclared, underdeclared, or misrepresented cash or income and expense. Am I a valid business expense? If so, I am expected to be part of an income generation. So if I am not a valid or legitimate business expense, then any profit or any income that to be generated naturally a poison fruit from a poison tree. So do I represent a legitimate investment or a...
I can't find my cell phone.
Oh, so you should wait for mommy to finish. Do I represent a legitimate investment or a worthy cause to give sponsorship money to? Do I deserve the trust and confidence? So, or I am just one of those scammers, and do I represent a very unsafe gamble when it comes to finance? So why won't my due diligence be entertained or be treated as a legitimate procedural initiation? Diba? Why couldn't my my request be treated seriously? So do I represent the name, a brand, a logo? That part has been documented already. If my inquiries have not been given serious consideration, then I should be I should be in a proper position to ask, why won't my due diligence be entertained as a legitimate regulatory compliance of the bank because of my dealings with foreign nationals, foreign entities who will be flagged or red tagged by the respective governments should their association with me cannot produce legitimate official records because I seem to have a problematic financial history and pending legal cases, finance in nature or criminal in nature. Am I already being prejudged even without the benefit of an internal due process? That's very discriminatory to me and my rights. The purpose and intention of my due diligence is part of the offers I had submitted already. I just want to read a brief 2 paragraphs or more of this article over on the internet, The Taxpayer in the Philippines, and the author Miguel Dar is a CPA and an experienced tax consultant who specializes in tax audits. He provides tax advice to various startup enterprises and clarified tax concerns of individual taxpayers. In taxation, taxpayers are classified into different categories. Each classification has different obligations to the government, corporation, and the foreign corporation. To wrap up, in summary, only resident citizens and domestic corporations are required to pay taxes on both their Philippine and foreign-sourced incomes. Other entities are only obligated to pay taxes on their income from the Philippines. So who are qualified for tax exemption in the Philippines? According to the tax code, number 1, first bullet, individuals with no income, minimum wage earners, and those whose taxable income does not exceed 250,000 pesos. Cooperatives registered in the cooperative development, where to get tax certificate, and these are the things that I am reviewing so that I would know where, at what category, and my documents will correspond to. Thank you for listening, and I'm looking forward to the next episode. Before I go, I would like to leave a question. What will a joint stipulation look like, having me as one of the parties of interest in whatever legal matters that will be mediated or that will be filed?